Movie review number 1329 is Juliet and Romeo. Juliet and Romeo is a 2025 movie directed by Timothy Scott Bogart. Bogart. Timothy Scott Bogart. This movie has Briarcliff Entertainment, Hero Entertainment, and Rainmaker Films. I saw this movie on May 17th, 2025 at Greendale Cinema in Greendale, Indiana. So this movie is a little bit of a modern take or retelling of the classic William Shakespeare play Romeo and Juliet. Well, first off, the movie is called Juliet and Romeo, not Romeo and Juliet. Interesting that they switched the names, or like they switched the order of the names in the movie. Instead of being Romeo and Juliet, is Juliet and Romeo. Now the movie does is based on the story Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare, but it has a little bit of a twist to it. So, set in 1301 at the end of medieval times, this movie finds our most famous star-crossed lovers turning the tides on the history Shakespeare based his own story on, as they reveal the truth to the very future of the empire. But the biggest twist in this most beloved of tales is weaving the poetry of iambic pentameter in the past, through the original pop music that rockets these ever-present themes right to the heart of our characters in the most surprising and perhaps most powerful way this has ever been seen or heard before. The greatest love story of all time, set to the greatest music of our time. So instead of the movie having like the same dialogue or same set of iambic pentameter dialogue based on the William Shakespeare play, this movie has a more modern take on the story, and it's more of a musical. It has pop music and other forms of music in it, and it is based on the most powerful love story of all time. Two star-crossed lovers from different families, the Montagues and the Capulets. Both families are on different sides of an empire. However, one of the Romeo Montague and Julia Capulet meet each other for the first time and they eventually fall in love. Despite themselves being on different families, they don't care about that. They have eyes for each other. Of course, their families will not approve of this if they ever found out. The Capulets want their daughter to marry based on their own choice and not of their daughters. And let's just say the Montagues have big plans for Romeo. But Romeo wants to marry Juliet, and vice versa. But of course, they may not be able to be together because of their family history. Now, I will say that the movie is definitely more of a modern take on the story. It doesn't have the same set of dialogue from the original play, and let's just say that even though it is based on the same story, certain points or certain parts of the story have been changed. I don't want to discuss too much more going going into this, but when you see the movie, you probably will understand what parts have been changed. Now, I enjoyed it nevertheless, but just be warned that some elements of the story have either been taken out or changed. But I still enjoyed it. So, this movie has Clara Woodward as Juliet, Jamie Ward as Romeo, Jason Isaacs as Ward Montague, Tyra Perks as Rosaline, Dan Foto as the Acropathology, Nicholas Podeni as Mercurio, Ferdia Walsh Piro as Tabot, Rupert Graves as Prince Esclavis, Ira Del Besteller as Prince Esclavis's Herald, Mortena Ortiz Ruiz portrays Veronica. Alice Greaves portrays Tomoresto. Dennis Andres portrays Ward Paris. Red Desi as Ferocente. Mass Porter portrays Ben Furio. Seth Billward portrays Report. Rebel Wilson portrays Ray Capulet. Rupert Everett portrays Ward Capulet. And David Jacoby portrays the Firewall. Now, I have heard some negative reviews about this movie, but I still enjoyed it. Like I said, there were parts of the story of the movie that is based on the actual William Shakespeare play, as it does feature two star-crossed lovers who are in love despite themselves being on two different families who despise each other. I won't say what parts have been changed, but I will say that, well, okay, maybe I shouldn't go there because it will be a spoiler. I will say the movie does end differently than the North than the Prey. I'll, that's all I'm going to say. But nevertheless, I thought it was pretty good, and it was very interesting that they adapted the movie into a musical, a little bit of a musical. So that's my movie review of Juliet and Romeo. Please enjoy this movie review. Alright, goodbye.